Okay. Well, hello everyone. Sorry. Welcome to another awesome Girl Meets World after show. Today's a big one. We're going to talk about the 3-part Girl Meets Texas epic. I don't know. Episodes. So thank you Heavenly Gal for joining me today for this one.
Yeah, thanks for having me
Hopefully.
back.
No problem. And Sean, the invitation is still open if you ever want to come back. The after show, especially for this episode, be interesting to see your perspective.
Yeah.
All right. Um, so let's start off with part 1.
Yeah.
So I'll let you start with your positives first.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I'll start off by saying that I think these 3 Texas episodes kind of brought the series to a whole other level, like brought it up to a whole other level. And I noticed with each episode, each part, these episodes had layers to them that we haven't seen in this series before. So yeah, that was just a first thought I had. So my likes, there's a lot of them. Did you freeze?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not on my computer, but can you not see me? Oh no! Oh shoot. I think she froze. Oh no. Okay. The internet not working? Okay. Hello, so I think it seems like it froze on her end. I don't know. I have to check. So maybe I'll wait to see if she can come back to the call. In the meantime, I guess I will start off with my positives. So in the meantime, while she comes back, my positive was that Riley was mature when she found out that Maya liked Lucas. I was kind of worried about that. I thought maybe a lot of girls her age would not be that mature if they found out her best friend, their best friend liked the boy they liked. They would probably freak out and be like, "Yeah, I'm never gonna try me again." Really mature. She acted like, maybe it's not super realistic, but I mean there are some, more mature teenagers out there. So I really liked her reaction, that she didn't freak out and was like, "Oh, you're not my friend anymore," blah blah blah. So I really, really, really like that about Riley. And some people don't like this, but I actually did not mind that she actually kind of liked it, that she put her happiness aside to let Maya and Lucas kind of maybe be together. I thought that was, mature as well, and because it showed just how much she cares for both Maya and Lucas. I guess more Maya because it's like her best friend, but that's like a true adult, mature thing, that you'd like kind of put your happiness aside for another person because you want them to be happy. It's not good to do that all the time because then you need to do stuff for yourself once in a while too. But I thought that was really mature of Riley, because a lot of times I feel like they make her kind of like way too goofy and just like people can take her seriously and blah blah blah. So I like that development. Riley is growing up, so it's nice. I liked seeing Zay and Farkle in this episode. They added a lot of comedic relief, and yeah, Zay is awesome. More Zay. So hopefully we get to know him a little bit better. We've kind of had episodes about Farkle and Lucas now, and now we kind of need one for Zay, I think, because Zay's awesome. He's funny. I like that they're including him more in the group. Like, it seems like he's part of the group now, so I really like that. I like that we got to meet a bit more of Lucas's family. It's not his actual parents, but yeah, so just getting to know more of Lucas is great. Um, and I also liked Lucas help being the little boy, like just inspiring him. I thought that was, just a nice thing for Lucas to do because he's a good guy. So it was nice to see him, help out a little boy. So good job, Lucas. And then another really cool, just like funny thing was that Pappy Joe's name was actually Pappy Joe. So anything because Maya's been saying that for a long time. So just to actually have it be his name was funny. And then the whole the fact that like Maya was right about that was also another really funny thing. So those were my positives for that episode. And I think she's coming back.
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry, my computer crashed. I don't know why.
Oh, okay. Well, you came back just in time because I just finished saying all my positives.
Oh, okay. Oh, I missed them. Okay.
Well, I mean, you can go and I'll kind of tell you if I agreed, but I mean,
Yeah.
I'll just list them really fast. They said that like Riley was mature about she reacted maturely when she found out about Maya liking Lucas. Like she didn't react like a typical teenager, like yeah, I'm not gonna be your friend anymore, blah blah blah. Like she was mature. I like that. Zay and Farkle being in the episode, getting to know more of Lucas's family, Lucas helping the little boy. The fact that Pappy Joe's name was Pappy Joe, that was funny. And then the whole her thing, that like she was right about that. So those were like my positives. So your turn.
Was she right about it, or I think she was just surprised that the same thing that
Oh yeah.
That, I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that was a cute scene.
Well, yeah, basically, like it was kind of like a coincidence that
Okay. So yeah, I started off by saying, well, yeah. First of all, I have a lot of likes for this, and it's part one is one of these episodes that has a great balancing act, going back and forth from the comedy to drama, the humor, serious moments, and I like that. And then an example how this episode in particular has those layers I talked about before my computer crashed. You heard that part, right? You heard that part? Yeah, okay. Is through Riley and Maya with like we start off the episode, and through the first half of the episode we have them being in sync and on par with each other like we often do. And like with the opening scene, how like they enter Lucas in the competition. We find out like them telling him that, and then the whole thing with the flyer, reading of the flyer and rereading it to until they finally understand that it's not a sheep competition they entered in, but a bull riding, which I thought that was well portrayed by all like the five of them, and yeah. And they remained on their in sync levels together through the first half, up until when we get their separate reactions to discovering what a bull is, and then we get their differing opinions on that, which again is they both portrayed that part well, like and I thought that was an interesting way to go to kind of dive into the climax of this episode and into the the relationship drama too, which I wasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting it to go down this way, which is also refreshing when that happens in any series when you're not.
Yeah.
And on their different reactions. Where am I? Yeah, and I also I don't think either of them were wrong in their thinking. Like they both have Lucas's, best interests at heart, and they both have their points. And I found it interesting. In a way, they kind of flipped, and you could almost usually Maya's the adventurous one and the rebel, while Riley likes the safe. And then this kind of flipped, where Riley wants Lucas. Like she's still worried about him, but she's encouraging him to still do the competition. And yeah, once again, I love how Riley's being written. Like she's just getting her writing for is better and better, and Rowan. I'm just continuing to be impressed by her.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah. And to continue with the Riley Maya part before I talk about the other parts, I like how after the competition, Riley's realization, looking over at Maya, her realization to, and then the conversation with Maya afterwards, I thought that was a great scene, and on point, and again well portrayed by both Rowan and Sabrina. And I love that Riley is the one taking things by the reins and kind of leading. So yeah, that goes to what I said about the writing for Riley being better. And I really loved Lucas's grandfather, the character, and the actor who portrayed him, which I didn't get his name, but yeah, I liked him. And I think he's one of the only adults other than Katie who's written well. Like Corey and Topanga have their hidden misses. I mean, as an adult being written well, and he also fit. I found him fit naturally within the series. So yeah, I hope he comes back. And yeah, and yeah, I also like the little scene between Lucas and the little boy, and what Lucas says to him. And yeah, I enjoyed Zagan in this episode. And I think he's definitely fitting more and more in with the friendship of the four.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And yeah, I think that's it for now.
All right. Oh well, I guess I'll let you go with your negatives because you should go first. So
okay. Not much, but I do have a couple little things. I didn't really care for the girls creating the bay window in Happy Joe's house. Just it kind of felt awkward, and I think they need to stop mentioning the bay window all the time. Like showing it is, but yeah. But yeah, it was sweet of the grandfather to say that the two seats would remain there, though. So
yeah.
And I don't know. I didn't care for when the girls come in their Texas wardrobe. How Lucas does the staring thing with Maya again. I mean, those two have good chemistry, but it's the series trying to do these moments. I always find it force between them.
Yeah.
And also with going back to Maya's worry for Lucas before the competition, I found this a little over dramatic, and I don't know. Like, as strong as an actress as I think Sabrina is, I feel like she's trying too hard to try to get to this emotion, these emotions, and it kind of took me away from her side a little bit. So, but yeah, that's it. That's kind of it. Yeah.
All right. Okay, so my negatives, first is Lucas being shamed like by his family in town and everything for the sheep thing. Like, okay, get over it, people. Like, it's, I mean, I guess it's kind of like maybe like towns that they're football towns, like that's their thing. And this town, it's like the whole sheep and bull thing. But I'm just like, just let him just get over it. Like, he feels bad. Okay, like just shut up about it. So I didn't like that. And then just how, like, I guess, I don't know, just like, I guess Corey and Topanga and Katie were just okay with, like, the girls just like, okay, we're going to Texas. Like, what the heck? Like, we didn't like even see them talk about it or anything. Like, like they just, the parents were like, okay, that's fine, just go by yourselves. And I don't know. So yeah, it's just like, okay, that's kind of weird and random, and I don't know. And then, I mean, it was nice that, yeah, Riley believed in Lucas and everything, like that he could do it. But I also thought it was kind of naive too, because like there's like a fine line like between like believing that someone can do something, but also like don't be like so naive, especially if it's like a really dangerous situation. And like I wouldn't go like all the way to extreme. Like I wouldn't be like Maya, like, oh, never talk to me again. But like I'd be like, maybe just don't do it, you know? So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was nice that Riley did believe in him or whatever. But hopefully if he ever encounters another more dangerous situation, that Riley won't be so naive and be like, yeah, you can do it. It's like, no, he could probably die. So maybe just, yeah, okay. And then I didn't really like how Riley asked Maya how she feels about Lucas in front of everyone, like at the end of the episode. Like, I would be kind of mad if somebody did that to me, and like I've had things like that happen to me in like middle school, and like a girl was like, oh, she likes you, like telling the guy I liked. I'm like, oh my god, that's so mean. Like, that's just like, she should just talk about her feelings whenever she's feeling right, and also she shouldn't be asking something like that in front of other people that have nothing to do with the situation. So I just thought that was kind of rude. And I would have been mad. Like, I mean, Maya reacted really well, because I wouldn't have reacted like that. I'd be like, excuse me, don't ask me that in front of all these people. Like, that's just really embarrassing. So I did not like that. And then, and I guess I wanted a little bit more like of like Lucas's family. Like, I wanted to get to know them a little bit more. Yeah, they were in there, but I don't know. I just wanted more, because we were in Texas. We were in his homestay, Zay's homestay, and I don't know. I just felt like I wanted more than what we got, because it was mostly focusing on the like little romance, love triangle storyline thing. So I just wanted like a tiny bit more of Lucas's family. So now I guess,
yeah.
Final thoughts.
Yeah, we could have met his parents too in this episode.
Yeah, it's pretty important.
Yeah. Yeah, so the final thoughts, I'll start with what you said about the way Riley confronted the situation with Lucas in front of everyone. Yeah, I didn't put this in my negatives because I have mixed feelings about this. So I agree about asking Maya what you did in front of everyone, and like when you like someone, it should be your decision whether or not when you want to let that person know. That being said, kind of a defense is of Riley there is we know from previous episodes Maya likes honesty and upfrontness.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
So in a way, like this was Riley knowing Maya that
okay.
That being said, we go into part 2 and 3 and we have Riley being a little bit of a hypocrite because she doesn't want to discuss her feelings.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, yeah, I have mixed feelings on that, but and also having it being in front of Farkle and Zay, which is awkward, but at the same time, this is such a close group of friends, and we already have Zay kind of calling out Lucas and Maya, I think, in creativity.
Oh yeah.
So like, I don't know, they both seem kind of shocked that it's happening there, but I think they would most likely already kind of assume something. I don't know.
It's good reasons.
Yeah. but yeah, I agree about asking Maya right there. Like Maya should choose. Yeah. And another final thought. Well, we didn't have much Farkle in this episode, but yeah, I look forward to discussing his roles in part 2 and 3 because I loved him in those 2 episodes.
Yeah, me too.
I also love the 3 guys on the couch before the confrontation, saying to Farkle how you're one of us now. So yeah.
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 That was awesome.
Yeah, that was sweet too. Yeah, I think that's it. Oh, actually, I have 2 quotes I kind of picked up from this episode that I want to reiterate from.
Mm-hmm.
The first one being what Lucas says to the little boy. Sometimes you get thrown, but don't let it throw you. I don't know. I thought that was it. And then what the grandfather says, in my opinion, it's about facing life, which runs harder than any bull. You gotta face your fears. You ride them, you don't let them ride you. And I think that's good advice to you. Yeah, so.
Okay, but can't you ride, can't you do that in a less dangerous way? Are you gonna make every kid ride a bull until one of them gets killed or something? I just feel like you can teach those lessons in a better way. You should talk to Mr. Feeney, and Mr. Feeney could be like, I could have taught that lesson in a less dangerous way, man. I don't know, but I just didn't like that. Because I was worried too. I'd be worried of any young person riding a bull. I don't want. No, unless they're super. I mean, I guess Lucas is better than just any random person because he actually has, has the skill for it. But I don't know. I just try to avoid dangerous situations where I don't want people to get hurt. So, yeah. So, anyway.
Yeah.
Did you have any other final thoughts?
No, I think that's it. So.
Okay. Well, this one was kind of a retroactive thought. After I saw the rest of them, of the part 2 and part 3, I was like, why on part 1? Why did they make it seem like Lucas at the beginning? It was more it made it seem okay. In the first one, the last few episodes, they've been making it seem like, oh, Lucas might like Maya now, and then there was that comment oh, you look good, and by the end of this episode, it seems like he likes Riley again, and then we find out part 2 and 3 that he's it seems like he's more into Riley. So I'm just what was the point of all of those other episodes and moments? And yeah. But that's gonna be my thought throughout the whole for each part, because that was something that was kind of frustrating me. What was the point of all of those moments? So
yeah.
Now, oh, sorry, were you gonna say something?
No, I know that. I'm fine. That's good.
All right, now we'll go into Girl Meets Texas Part 2. So I'll run down through my positives real quick, so then hopefully that'll like jog your stuff and help you out with yours.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, well, first I like the Chubby's reference that they had like a Chubby's barbecue thing. As a Boy Meets World fan, that was just like a cool little, fan service thing that they did in reference. And then I thought Farkle was such a great friend in this episode. Like he was just, I just loved him in this episode. Just how supportive he was, and just being there for Maya. That was awesome. That just like warmed my heart. Like oh, when she like, they had the little moment there. I was like, oh, he's such a good friend. So yes, Luke Farkle was awesome. And then Zane kind of having his own little like storyline there with Vanessa, because Zane hasn't really had his own little storyline, so it was really cool to see kind of Zane have his own thing going on. And then Maya being an awesome friend and like helping Zane get Vanessa back. That was just like a really cool thing for her to do. Then when Riley joined in, that was just like awesome for them to do that for him. So I love when they're, just like being great friends like that. That was awesome that they like supported him that way. And then I loved when Riley told Maya that she would be her friend no matter what. That was, that just goes back to like my first point in part one about how like Riley was kind of being, for the most part, mature about this whole situation, because not too many girls their age would react that way if they found out their best friend liked the guy that they liked. So that was really nice of Riley to say that she would be her friend no matter what. And then the moment, I think it's in the last scene when Lucas was talking to the bull and the sheep, I knew he was talking to them just because like I didn't hear any other person reacting. So I was like, okay, I know it's not Riley or Maya, because Maya would probably say something back to him. I don't think they would just like keep their mouth shut. So I kind of knew he was talking to them. So, I like what they were doing, that they were trying to make it seem like he was talking to Riley and Maya, and then you find out later that it's not them. But I just thought that was funny, even though like I didn't get fooled by it, but it was just a funny thing. But yeah, I think he probably does mean it. It probably does apply to Riley and Maya too. But and that's it for my positives for this episode.
Yeah. So, okay, yeah, I'll start with the grandfather again. I enjoyed him in this episode. And I liked his, after the kids leave for the chubbies, I liked his little moment on the porch and the rocker, how he sits down and is like, this is all I need or something. Like it was like that was kind of the implication. And that was just a simple moment, and it's kind of, it's realistic for his age, but also realistic for the small town for small towns. So yeah, I enjoyed that, as small as it was, but going into the kids at the dance, or the whatever, I don't know, well, I guess it's a restaurant that Chubby's was, or a town hall or something.
Yeah.
Well, I liked how Riley got this newfound confidence in with this, up until this moment. She's made a decision on what she wants a relationship with Lucas to be. I'll talk about more of that in final thoughts, but it's because again I kind of have mixed feelings. But like I like how the way she asked Lucas to dance, and then their dance, like, so yeah. And probably the highlight of this episode was Sparkle and Maya's moment together, scene together, because I mean, yeah, I loved Farkle in this episode and in the next one, and he's just, I love how he's this, just being like this supportive friend to both Riley and Maya during this, and yeah, both like that moment with Maya and Farkle was well acted by both in their and yeah, I enjoyed Zay's side plot with Vanessa too. Like we got he shouted it out that with in the previous a couple of the previous episodes that came before. So
yeah, it's nice to know that she's like a real person.
Yeah.
You know, that we actually get to meet her. So yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and yeah, I do liked the way Maya stepped up and tried to convince Vanessa that Zay is a good guy, and then Riley joining in, which goes back to what I said in part 1 about the way Riley and Maya kind of went back and forth, these 3 parts, in have that in sync power with each other, and then but also their individual characters. And I don't think we've seen that before in other episodes. Like usually episodes will either show them individually or show them on that equal ground together. I don't think this is probably the first time we've seen this combine this in one episode. And yeah, going into the campfire scene.
The big one.
Yeah. You didn't comment on that in your likes. Does that mean it's in your negatives?
Well, I don't know. I'm just like, I have a comment about it. It's not like a love or hate.
Yeah, okay. Okay, well, first of all, going into that campfire scene before we get to that, I can't remember who asked the grandfather that, but what do you do around here when you don't want to go to bed, but you just want to stare at each other's faces? Oh. And first of all, that was sweet, and also I'm someone who loves campfires.
Oh, so, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, and so yeah, jumping to the campfire, I liked everyone in this scene. I guess this is where Vanessa shows up, which I guess it's kind of random, but anyways. Again, Riley does it again with how she ends part 1 with confrontation, but I don't know. I guess going with what you said about her being mature, it was kind of good of her to leave them alone, like even though it was still in front of the other friends. It was good for her to leave them alone this time, and her and Farkle went to go get the yogurt, so
that's something I did like too, so I agree with you on that.
And so now Lucas and Maya, again, I'll say this, those two really do have chemistry together, and they have like an almost kiss, and I think I always think it's interesting when characters have almost kisses, because in a way that's harder to pull off than actually kissing. And I know part of the reason they probably didn't kiss is because it's a Disney Channel and Disney doesn't like to show that thing. But
you Disney, I wanted to see it.
but I still like that they didn't actually like in it. Yeah.
Yeah, because like you said, it's probably
well takes, So
good job, Peyton and Sabrina. Everyone, the whole cast.
Yeah.
You're awesome. especially you guys. So,
Yeah.
great performances.
And yeah, going to the end with Lucas talking with what he's saying. I didn't necessarily think it was Maya and Riley either. As it was happening, because I kind of had it in my mind that he was talking about them, going back and forth talking about them, and I was kind of confused, trying to put each thought he's saying with the respective character, and I got a little confused doing that because I wasn't. There was times when sometimes it seems like Riley, but then it could also be Maya and vice versa. So, but yeah, it was interesting that they made it the bull and the sheep with still the Maya Riley comparison. That was clever. Yeah. So, and so I think that's it for my positives right now.
And I also want to add for positives, just the fact that like Maya finally admitted that she liked him. That's a positive for me because it's like, okay, finally it's out there, it's confirmed, it's open. Like she finally said it. So
wait, did she actually admit it?
Well, she said, of course I like you. You're a good guy.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, thank you. Okay, cool. It's finally out in the open.
Yeah.
And for, I guess, I don't know, it's more like thoughts I have on that scene, but so I'll go on my negatives. I thought Riley was like a little overdoing the whole brother sister thing a little like too much, but I think she was doing it because she wanted to like convince herself that that's what she wanted, that yeah, I'm totally okay with this. So even though it kind of annoyed me a little bit, not a lot, but just like a tiny bit, I understood why she was probably doing it because like, yeah, I just want to convince everyone myself that like this is what I totally believe, that we're brother and sister.
Yeah, I think this psych term there, what she was doing is overcompensating. Which I don't know how to
definitely.
Think. Yeah.
And again, another negative is like that Riley was like, oh, Maya likes you. It's like, to me, that's my worst nightmare. Well, it's actually happened to me, like I said, in elementary school, and I wanted to kill my friend. I started crying in class. I was so embarrassed. So it's just mean. Like, just leave them. I think she should have just left them alone. And like, yeah, Maya ended up actually saying it. Well, maybe she wouldn't have said it if Riley hadn't said it, but who cares? Like, Maya should just say it when the time is right, when she feels right. Don't like try to force somebody to say that, because that's really hard, and just forcing somebody, it's just no. So I didn't really like that Riley did that, but yeah, okay. But I mean, overall, I still like you, Riley. But it's just like those little things. I'm just like, let her do it when the time is right, okay? And then just again, the same comment I had about how like, again, they were like making it seem like, oh, Maya and Lucas are gonna be a thing, and then like Lucas was all upset when she's like, oh, I want to be brother and sister, and he's like, brother and sister, are we gonna put brother and sister? And he seemed like just like not happy that Riley said that to him, like when she was like, well, you have to think of us that way now, because he's like, oh, maybe I don't want us to be that or whatever in the campfire. And he seemed upset. I'm just like, what the heck? Like in the last few episodes you seem like way more into Maya than Riley, and now Riley's like, yeah, I'm not into you anymore, supposedly. You're just like, Maya, I don't care about you anymore. Like, what the heck? So writers, why are you guys doing that? You guys just want to mess with us. And I guess that's pretty much it. I mean, I did like the moment with, I agree with you that they did pull it off really well, like the whole Lucas, like that whole moment when he they had the almost kiss thing, but I wanted them to kiss.
Yeah.
I just wanted to see it. I was just like, come on. I mean, Riley kissed, she had a more innocent kiss, but like she just like kissed Lucas like super quickly on the first date episode. But I wanted to see it because it's like, it's been building up so long. Like I felt like, I'm not that into like the whole Lucaya thing, but if it's gonna be on TV, I'm gonna see it. So, like it's like, yeah, it's been building up supposedly, and then it's like, oh, we're finally gonna see it, and it's like, dang. So yeah, I mean, I did like the moment. I did like watch it a few times and stuff because I thought, yeah, they had great chemistry. I thought it was like kind of romantic, but then like, okay, so when like right when they had the almost kiss, it's like, okay, so maybe he does like her, but then when he's like, oh, I was just trying to stop you, I'm like, okay, so you don't like her. I'm just like so confused. But I mean, it's a great scene to watch, but it's just the writers are just trying to confuse us all the time. Just like they're just taking us on this roller coaster. That's how I feel with all of them. So, but yeah, I mean, it's a great moment to watch, but it's just like makes you think one thing and then it makes you think another thing. So, and it's interesting. That's all I have to say. I'm not like super happy about it, super upset. I'm just like I enjoyed it. So, and then, well, I guess we'll go into, I guess if you have any final thoughts on this episode.
Yeah. I'll agree with you. I didn't really care for. Riley was kind of overdoing it on the whole brother-sister thing, and I'm not really sold on the fact that she actually believes that. She thinks Maya and Lucas like each other, so and she wants to keep Lucas in her life as her friend. Going back to semi-formal with what Eric says, that comparison with the Eric, Rachel, Jack to, yeah. So, but yeah, she was definitely overdoing it, which continues in part 3. And she actually, she slips up a little bit. It was near the beginning of the episode, before they go to the party. When she says, "This is how we are now. I'm gonna tease you, and we're gonna rib each other, just like you and Maya."
Okay.
So she thinks Lucas and Maya have developed feelings for each other, and that's how they got there, starting like their love-hate relationship. So maybe it's that's yeah, but so yeah, and yeah, I think that's it right now for this episode that I can think of. Yeah, I'm trying to remember because I didn't get a chance to rewatch the second part. Does Lucas and his grandfather have a moment together, like a scene together?
Like at the end they have, he says like, now it's time for you to like, not something like, not meet the world, but something about the world, like conquer the world or something like that, like face the world or something like that.
Yeah, okay. I'm drawing a blank on that, but I thought maybe they did, yeah. And yeah, and I liked how he said to all the kids that he's their grandfather too now.
Oh, yeah.
I think he said something to that effect, yeah. So, yeah. I can't wait to have him back. Maybe he'll come to New York.
Yeah, that'd be interesting, seeing him like it being like the city life.
Well, he was there. But going back to part 1 briefly, I said how I liked how the grandpa, he felt natural within the series, but it was a little random the way he showed up in the classroom and gave and then but anyways, that's a little thing, but
yeah, I thought that too.
Yeah. So yeah. And also, what you said about Corey and Topanga in that episode about just letting them go to Texas by themselves. They're 14 years old or something at this. So.
Like they're so like protective of them in other aspects, but like just like, oh yeah, just go to like our 2 girls, let them go by themselves with like 3 other boys in another state. Yeah, I'm sure lots of parents would be like very happy about
Not
that.
not in, at least not in the 8th grade. Like maybe more in towards the end of high school, but not.
Yeah, I was like, really? Okay. Even if the daughter was like, I can pay for it, they'd be like, I don't know too many parents that'd be like, I don't care if you can pay for it, like, you're not, they'd be like, you're not going, I don't care if you can pay. So, yeah. Um, it's like, where's the crazy worry Corey in this episode? The one that usually there. um, and I just want to say for final thoughts, because I never ever believed that Riley liked Lucas as a brother. Like,
No,
ever since they said that in that episode with Katie's mom and I think, which one was it? I don't remember. But ever since, like...
It was Yearbook.
Oh, okay, yeah. Ever since, like, Maya, like, thought that, I was like, no, because I said before, I was like, why would Maya know Riley's feelings more than Riley? That just doesn't make sense. If you like someone, you know. You don't need someone to tell you, oh, no, you don't actually like them. Like, no, that's never happened. I think ever, like, if you know if you like someone, you don't have to have someone else tell you whether or not you like them. So, yeah, for all you people that were like, oh, Riley does like Lucas as a brother, she just doesn't know it. I saw it in comments, okay, people? No, okay, if you like someone, you know. You don't have to have other people tell you or whether or not you like them. So I just want to say I was right. So I like being right. So I'm just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah, we agree.
Yeah. and
also,
they... Oh, sorry.
Well, Riley says it too in part 1, and on that scene on the fence. She says to Maya, I know you think Riley, Lucas and I are brother and sister like, and you thought that for a while, but she says that's what Maya thinks. She knows Maya thinks that. She doesn't say that that's what she thinks.
That's true.
Yeah. So So what about Zay?
Oh, I just hope that we have more Zay storylines in the future because I mean it's just like a little bit like him and Vanessa, and hopefully we get to know we get more Zay stories that don't involve like girls. You know, like I want to get to know him beyond just like his love interests. You know, just have him be more rounded out as a character. So that was like my other thing because I did like, you know, seeing him have his own little like side story.
Yeah.
You know, even if it's like really small. So now I guess we'll go to part 3. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I think I have a lot more to say about this one than the other two. So, do you want to start or?
You can start again.
Okay, first of all, I want to say Charlie is back.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
I should ask this after we finish this part, but do you have a favorite of all 3 episodes, or?
Probably 3.
Okay, me too. Me too.
I thought it was just like a lot more going on, and it was just like, I was like more entertained by that one. I was like, oh my gosh. So yeah, Charlie's back. I'm so happy he's back because I really, you know, I thought he was awesome. I'm glad that I because sometimes when they introduce characters, you know, because Boy Meets World did that a lot when they would introduce a character and they're only there for 1 episode, we never see him again. So I'm kind of scared whenever like Girl Meets World introduces a character because I'm like, oh, are we gonna see him again? Especially if it's someone I like. So I'm glad that they, you know, brought Charlie back. So, and then I want to make a little note is that Charlie in this episode reminded me a lot of JTT, Jonathan Taylor Thomas, because of his longer hair. So any of you 90s people, if you know who JTT is, you know what I'm talking about. He just reminded me a lot of him with his longer hair. So, and then Corey like freaking out. I thought that was just hilarious. And it was nice to have Corey back. I was kind of missing him in the other episodes. So it's nice to see more of Corey. And then, you know, Augie. We got to see Augie and Topanga back. And I like the little moment with Corey Augie acting kind of like Corey when he's like, oh, I've been married to Ava for 52 years or something. And then when he's like, oh, it was just so cute, that scene with Lucas when he's like, oh, I have to go record my podcast or something. That was just so funny. Like, oh, Augie was awesome in this episode. Just the whole little like talk he had with Lucas and how he's like, don't hurt my sister. I was like, oh my gosh, Augie's so awesome. So yes, loved Augie in this episode. Zane, hilarious as usual. And then we got a Topanga and Riley moment. Oh my goodness. But I don't remember if there was like a really big hug. It was more like I don't know if we're there yet. It was more like, Riley laying on Topanga's lap, which is, it was still nice, but like, it wasn't a hug. But like, that was still like a nice moment. But then Topanga was like, okay, I gotta go to work now. She kind of ruined it. No, just kidding. I know she has to go to work, but like, it was nice while it lasted. So we at least did get some Topanga and Riley moments. And again, Riley, just how she was, again, acting, kind of more mature and like kind of putting her happiness aside for Maya and Lucas, kind of giving them time to explore, their feelings. So, I did feel bad for her because I know she likes him, but like, it was still kind of, nice for her to at least to not be so selfish and be like, well, let me give them some time and see if maybe, like sometimes you have to kind of, you can't really like force people or make them not go out with each other if they like each other. It's like, okay, well, let me just like step back for a little bit, let them see if there's anything between them. So, I did feel bad for her, but like I kind of admired her for, stepping back and just being kind of a good friend. And again, Farkle was a great friend in this episode. I do have a little bit of a negative with him, but overall, great friend. I just, he's awesome. I just love how he supports, basically all of them. Lucas is like one of his best friends, and he's, in love with Maya and Riley. And I was, before these episodes aired, I was kind of like worried about Farkle, because like, I knew obviously something was going to happen between Maya and Lucas because of the, promos or whatever. I actually watched the promos for these episodes. But I was also thinking, oh, what about Farkle? Because Farkle supposedly, I guess he kind of has Smackle now. I don't know if they're really dating or not, but like, he's supposedly, in love with these two girls. And I thought like, maybe if he found out that like they both liked his best friend Lucas, that he might be like, I don't know, feel really sad, or something might happen to him and he might get really affected. But like, he still like was still a great friend to all of them. So yeah, Farkle is awesome. So yeah, that's, I think, enough positives for me for this episode. So
okay. This was my favorite episode 2 of the 3 parts as well. And also, Ben Savage directed this episode. There was quite a few shots that I noticed. I saw that I liked how they were done, which I guess I'll start with that. I like going with Lucas and Augie's scene together, and the tiny chair, which I can only, like, there was a little bit of physical comedy there, and Peyton did that well. But I feel like that's more credit to the director, whoever it is. In this case, it was Ben. So yeah, I enjoyed that. And yeah, I liked Lucas and Augie's scene too, with Augie being that protective brother, saying don't hurt my sister. And I think this is probably the first time they've been alone together too. But yeah, it was still sweet. Yeah, and then going back to Ben's directing, it was interesting how when Riley's walking away from Charlie, after they agree on to go on their date. And then suddenly we're switching perspectives. We're seeing Riley walk away from him through Farkle's vision, and I thought that was an interesting shot there. So
yeah.
And yeah, Charlie's back. As I don't, if you remember from semi-formal, I really liked Charlie too.
Yeah, I thought about you. I was like, she must be happy.
Yeah, I was glad to. Yeah, I was glad. This is kind of more to final thoughts, but I'm gonna just say it now. When was Charlie ever in Corey's class? Because in the episode.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. I think that was in my like final thoughts. Yeah, it's like how convenient.
I kind of like the fact before that he wasn't shown in the class because like, well, Corey's not the only teacher at the school. Well, he's not the only history teacher at that school.
Yeah.
It's New York. It's probably big sizes. So, anyways, they had to do it. But yeah, I enjoyed just having Charlie back, and we got some little quirks revealed about him with his movie-going habits, with the coming attractions, which a lot of people have. A lot of people like seeing that, but yeah. So.
Yeah, I agreed with him because I don't like missing the previews as well.
Yeah, well, me either. So, and oh yeah, Farkle is the highlight of this episode for me. Like he was just great, and I loved Farkle and Riley's scene outside of the cafe.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, great performances by both, and I like going into that scene how we have Farkle do like what I said. Farkle's a little bit of a hypocrite in these three parts because we have Farkle doing what Riley was doing to Maya in wanting her to, but I liked how natural it was. Like it was just like the way she kind of grabs Farkle and drags him outside. I kind of liked how that was executed. Like it was just a realistic friendship moment. But yeah, I mean, that's what Maya should have done to Riley too. But yeah, and yeah, so going into that scene. So yeah, while Lucas and Maya show their romantic chemistry in part 2 by the campfire, we see Riley and Farkle have their really showcase their friendship chemistry with like the way in that scene, but also the way just Riley kind of drags him outside. So to going into that scene, I thought they both, like, again, Farkle as the supportive friend, he did a great job with that, and Riley, the way she portrays the overwhelming emotions she's feeling, and yeah, we see her cry out of sadness and hurt in Riley Town, which she did a good job for. She ends up in tears in this scene, but it's not really from sadness or anything. It's more, like I said, from that overwhelming, which is maybe harder to get to. So yeah, Rowan did a good job.
Yeah, I love that scene.
And and going into the flashbacks they do. Well, first of all, going into the first flashback with Riley and Lucas extending like from New World, that flashback they did from New World, like that, going into that. At first I thought this show really doesn't do flashbacks that well, but then it continued, and I changed my mind because the way they continued showing the different moments and flashbacks with Lucas and Maya and Lucas and Riley, and also how every time like we came back to the present, Farkle and Riley were in a different spot, which I guess goes again to Ben's directing. That made the scene all the more natural too. So, and yeah, so yeah, so I like them both. Like they both did a good job, and Riley. Well, Riley kind of says "I love you" in both to Lucas and Farkle within these three parts, which was sweet. Like she means it. She meant it as both as a friend, which is, but it was sweet. And yeah, and then how Farkle said to Riley, if she doesn't tell, he will, which I liked, but it was also an honest response from Riley. I just need more time. And yeah, the confusion feeling of this episode between Riley and Maya, and Lucas too, but they don't. That's kind of a negative final thought thing too, with it in regards to Lucas on that front. Yeah, Riley and Maya's confusion is like the way it's showcased is real. Going into their final scene together, doing their ring power thing, and then kind of saying they're both confused. So it was just an honest way to end. It was just an honest way to end the episode. And I think I'll save the rest. So you go ahead if you have the negatives.
Oh, okay. Well, just want to say again. I mean, yeah, Rowan was amazing in that scene. So yeah, like she's so good at like crying and everything. Like I feel so bad when she does. Like she like gets me. That's how I know she's so good. She like I just like feel more bad for her. So negatives. I didn't really like that Maya poured that shake on Lucas. I was like, why? I'm like, he's trying to share something with you, and you're. What the heck? Like you have this opportunity, like you supposedly like this guy, now you're on a date with him, and he like just shared a story about about himself opening up to you, and you pour a shake on his head. Like, no, I didn't. I was like, yeah, why are you doing that? That's just mean. Maybe because like I don't know, it's something that Riley wouldn't do, so they're just trying to like point out that they're different, but like we already know that they're not exactly the same, so why did you need to put that in? I just didn't really see any point of Maya doing that. I just thought it was mean. I was like, what was the point of that? I was like, why? Like he's like, this could have been your moment to share something with him, and you guys could have bonded, and no, you just did that. So I didn't really like that. And then the Maya Lucas dates were kind of boring. Like I was kind of looking forward to them actually just to see how it would go. And it was just I didn't really get anything really out of it. They're just like boring. Okay, I can understand maybe the first one being like, yeah, we don't know, or like awkward. But then the second one, it was the same. I'm just like, okay, can you maybe like go to another place and knock the coffee shop? Like, are all your dates gonna be in the coffee shop? Maybe go somewhere else, try another thing where you don't have to like just sit next to each other and not talk. But I mean, at least Lucas did kind of refer to that when he's like, oh, who goes on dates and doesn't talk? Oh yeah, we do. So at least he did like point it out. But like, I thought with those two, we would get better, more entertaining dates. And like they were boring, so yeah, I was kind of disappointed in that. And then, well, okay, like I know, Riley did like Lucas, but I thought maybe she also did kind of like Charlie, because from that prom episode or semi-formal one, it seemed like maybe she was kind of interested in him, but this one it seemed like she was not. So I was kind of sad. I'm like, oh, we're probably not going to see Charlie anymore, maybe. Because she's, when they were talking about the date, she's like, oh, I don't want to talk or hold hands. And he's like, oh, great. Like, great date, I mean, at least I did like, how he's just like, okay, I'll still take you on a date. Like, he's such a sweet guy. But I just thought that was kind of mean. But that she's like, I don't want to talk to you like on our first date. I was like, oh, come on, he's a nice guy. Give him a chance. At least talk to him. I'm not saying you have to like be his girlfriend. At least just talk to him on the date. So I was like, oh, I just felt bad for him that she did that. And then again with this whole thing that still keeps going on about how Lucas seems to now he's going back to liking Riley again after it seemed like he was giving Maya all this attention. Now it's like, oh wait, never mind, Riley, I like you now. I'm just going on these dates with Maya because I have no choice really. So yeah, like that again. And then I didn't really like that Farkle said that he's gonna like, oh, if you don't say it, I will. I'm just like, why is this happening again? Like, let her say it when she wants to. I think they should just figure everything out on their own. Like, no one should be trying to force the other person to say something they're not ready to say. Like, it's not a life-threatening thing that you need to, it's like an emergency, you need to say it right now. It has nothing to do with like health or anything. So just let them figure it out when they want to. And I felt like, okay, like, there might be some feelings, I mean, Farkle did say, Lucas might care for Maya. So, okay, they might care for each other. Maya does like him. Just let them figure it out. Give them time. You don't have to like freak out and be like, no, Riley has to be with Lucas. Like, no, just Farkle, like, just support them, but like, don't. I know you are a good friend, but like, just let them figure it out. Don't feel like you need to put Riley and Lucas back together right away. Just give them time, and it'll just work out the way it's supposed to. Just calm down, Lucas. I mean, just calm down, Farkle. I mean, like, Riley has had her chance with Lucas. Now let Maya and Lucas see what happens. It probably won't work out. I don't know. I think it's probably gonna be, I don't know, Riley and Lucas in the end, but whatever. They're still young. They have the whole rest of their lives to like figure it out. So you don't have to like freak out and be like, no, Riley and Lucas have to be together. Like, this can't happen. I mean, let Maya at least experience some happiness. Like, she finally, she likes this guy. She's been like kind of pushing her feelings aside for Riley, just trying to like not, she felt bad keeping the secret from her, and like, she hasn't had a great life. Now, like, she kind of maybe has a chance with the guy she likes. Let her at least see what happens, It's just support Maya too in that aspect. Don't just be like, oh, we have to put Riley and Lucas back together. So yeah, but yeah, I mean, overall, I still like that scene with Riley and Lucas because it was just acted so well, and I just wanted to hug Riley. I was like, it's gonna be okay, girl. Just be strong. Just distract yourself with Charlie right now. He's a good guy. At least
they did hug though, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
Okay.
So those were my negatives. So if you have, I guess go into final thoughts.
Okay, yeah. Just to comment on what you said about Farkle. It was like how you said you thought he was kind of pushing Riley and Lucas to get to be together. I'm not sure that's not what I took from it. I thought like he kind of just wanted Riley to be honest with her feelings and just get them out. And like, I think the point, like for me, the point was him looking at all his friends' sides within this triangle. Like, he's thinking about Lucas here, he's thinking about Maya's feelings, he's thinking about Riley's, and he just and I think he basically said it. I didn't comment on that in my likes, but I liked that scene between Corey and Farkle in the classroom.
Okay.
And I think that's when Farkle says he wants things to stay the same, which again is a realistic point of view. A lot of people, I think, are afraid of change.
Yeah, Maya said that in like part 2, like, I don't want things to change or whatever.
Yeah. And going with what I think Riley says I think she says it twice, is that how Maya stepped back from Lucas at one point to let.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure I believe that. Like I can't think of. I just can't think of when Maya would have. Like I don't really believe that Maya. There was necessarily that moment where Maya did that. I think she just started to like Lucas over time, but she didn't really step back. Like I think Maya's still. She hasn't really admitted that she likes Lucas as more than a friend. So I think she's still in that position. But yeah. And just I can't believe I didn't mention this because this was a big positive too for me. But you mentioned it anyways. Was Topanga and Riley finally get a sweet moment together, and a longer moment than we've had before. Like still no hug, but it was sweet. And again, going for what I said in part one, it was a good balancing act from the sweetness to the comedy, like with her then kind of Riley falls asleep on her lap and then she's late for work. So yeah, but yeah, I love that too. And so yeah, I guess final thoughts now. So do you want to go first?
I was letting. Oh, sorry, you were doing your negatives. Oh, shoot.
Kind of half, half and half. Okay, I'll continue. I can continue. Guess. Okay. Well, this is half, and again, this is kind of half a negative, half a final thought. Just we really don't. We have Lucas. We have Maya and Riley. Just figuring out their feelings for Lucas. And Riley figuring out, I guess, her feelings for Charlie's in the mix too. But we don't find out where Lucas stands, who he prefers. And neither one of them actually ask him. And going with a comment I read, that could have been a good opportunity to put in a scene between Zay and Lucas to have that conversation, or even Farkle and Lucas.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely that's one thing that I felt too. Like I wanted to know more, because like I still feel like at the end of this 3 episodes I don't really know how he feels. Like it's just like what I wanted to know, like why is he going on the date with Maya? Like when did that happen? Like how did they agree to it? Like who asked who? Like I felt like it was just like, how did they get to this point? And is he going out with her because he feels like he just has to because Riley wants him? Maybe he feels like Riley wants him to, or did he actually want to go out? Yeah, so I definitely agree. I would have liked to have known like a little bit more of what he thinks. So.
And yeah, I didn't really care for. They were basically, Maya and Lucas's date was basically copying his date with Riley in New World, which was, yeah. I mean, Maya and Riley are different. Like they wouldn't have the same date. But to comment also what you said about her dumping the smoothie on him, I actually like that. Like I think. Because they were kind of being awkward with each other and not talking, and that kind of her doing that kind of could have broken the ice a little bit more, and it got them back to their dynamic they had before. So, yeah. And final. And I'll just say superficial final thought. I really liked Maya and Riley's outfits in these episodes. And I loved Riley's boots she wore on her date with Charlie. She was wearing yeah. So, but yeah.
Yeah. They're very pretty girls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look beautiful.
Is that it? Yeah, I guess. Well, I liked how Corey, like, kind of going back to the way he was in, I think, the cheerleading episode, I guess, with him, not like being stuck between that rock and the hard place of parent to teacher kind of, and just not sure when to let go or not. So, I think that's it right now. So.
Okay, well, I guess my final thoughts, again, I just want to say I was right about Riley not liking Lucas as a brother. So, yeah, so for all the people commenting, oh, she just doesn't know it. Okay, no, she likes Lucas. Okay, anyway, I didn't really see, I wanted to see like a resolution with the whole Farkle and Corey thing, like, he's like, oh, report to me, blah, blah, blah. But then we never actually saw, like, another scene with them. So I kind of wanted to see that. Like, I want to see what, like, Farkle would actually say to Corey, if he would, like, maybe not tell him as much so he can kind of, not protect Riley, but just, like, not give away so much. Because maybe it's like, oh, well, she can figure it out on her own. I just wanted to see, like, what he was actually going to tell Corey. Maybe, I don't know if maybe they're going to show that in like a future episode. So hopefully we do kind of see that, because it's like, what was the point of that episode, like that scene if like nothing was going to happen. And then it's just like I already had it written down, but like Charlie being in the class randomly, like he was not in the class in any other episode, and like conveniently he's in the class now. Like I agree that I liked when I like that he was in another class, because it's just, not every character has to be in Corey's class, you know? Yeah. And then, okay, maybe I'm an idiot, but when Maya was like, oh, something happened between me and Lucas, like, I wanted to know what happened. Was that almost kiss the moment?
I think that's it.
Is that it? Like, really? Like, I don't really think it's that big of a deal. Like, what was she gonna tell Riley? Oh, we almost kissed. Like, really? Like, I don't think that's something she would need to tell Riley. Like, if they actually kissed, okay, then that's something that happened. But I just think that's weird. Like, you're gonna actually go tell someone, oh, I almost kissed this person. Like, I mean, I guess maybe it depends on like who it is, but like, I don't know, like, I just felt like, I was like, really, that's it? We almost kissed? And like, I don't know, I just didn't really think it was that big of a deal. If it was the almost kiss, I didn't think it was that big of a deal, because like, I mean, Riley was pushing them together basically, so it's like, why would Riley be mad about that or shocked? So I was just like, really, that was it? So I just want to know if that was it, because I was like, is that it? Like, I don't really think it's that big of a deal now.
I had that thought too. I agree. I think that is what they were referring to, and like you said, Riley was pushing Maya and Lucas to figure out their feelings for each other. So, and that's why she left the campfire in the first place. So I don't. But I agree. I don't think that's not that big of a deal. But
and I guess, I mean, I wanted her to actually like tell her eventually. Like, I mean, okay, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think she really has to tell her, but the fact that she actually brought it up and then she didn't actually say it to her, I was just like, okay, like, what was the point of that scene? Because she's like, you need to know, and then like she never actually tells her. So they made it a big deal, and then like she never actually told her. And then I just felt like I didn't like. I guess I mean I kind of already mentioned it, how like Lucas and Maya already on a date, but like we didn't really get to see like who asked who out, how, like, I wanted to know like how it came to that point. Like all of a sudden they're on a date, like were they just like, well, I guess, kind of like Topanga and Sean when like Corey was like, you guys need to go out. Like at least we kind of saw how they ended up on a date, but here it's like they're already on a date, and I'm like, how, why, like who agreed, like did they just do it because they're like, well, Riley this is what Riley would want, so let's just do it. Like, I just want to know like how they just ended up on a date. I was like, what the heck? And then my other thought, I watched the pilot again because before I watched Girl Meets Texas, because Michael Jacobs was like, oh, you know, biggest clues in the first episode. But I think there's several things that could be a clue. So I'm like, I don't know what's the clue. Like, I thought it was maybe when they're on the subway and then like and actually Maya's the first one that sees Lucas, so that's kind of where I thought that maybe that's when she stepped back. Maybe like as soon as she saw him, she liked him, but she's like, I'm gonna like give him to my girl or something. I don't know. I could be wrong. That probably wasn't it. But then like I thought the clue was like when she went over to Lucas first, and then she like had this whole like fast relationship with him, like, oh hi, how are you? Hi, I love you. Oh, you don't pay attention to me. I don't like you anymore. Bye. And then she like goes back. She's like, oh, we broke up. So I thought maybe that might be a clue that like they're gonna have like a really quick relationship. But then I don't know. I've been seeing like different theories on like other people were saying that like I have to look this up more, but like in the scene in the pilot when Farkle has like 2 different things on his plate. No, it's something about like, oh, if I want the chicken pot pie or the sloppy joe, and like Maya's the sloppy joe and Riley's the chicken pot pie, and then supposedly Lucas has sloppy joe on his plate, and that's supposedly Maya. So I don't know if that's the clue. So that's just something that I saw from somebody else. So I don't know what the clue is. I thought it could be because he said it was like an obvious thing. So I thought that was like the most obvious thing, you know, that like that fast relationship. So I wanted to know if you had any thoughts on what the clue would be.
No, I have no idea. I saw that tweet too, and yeah, I didn't go back and watch the pilot, but I'm not sure. I'm based on what we've gotten from these 3 episodes. Yeah, I don't know, because in a way that there was really no resolution for like with who's going to be with who. Mm-hmm. And in a way, this episode just left you even more confused. But I'll say, yeah, and going back to what you just said about the sloppy joe being on Lucas's tray in that pilot, I don't think I noticed what was on his tray.
Yeah, me neither. I was like, I'm like, people, I guess they have a little bit more time to like look at each frame. But I was like, I didn't notice that. The other thing I noticed too, I don't know if it's like if it's an actual clue too, is when like after the first time that Maya pushes Riley onto Lucas's lap, like she lands on his lap, but then like Lucas kind of looks at Maya, like he kind of like looks at her and like smiles, like he kind of like, oh, who's that girl? But then he looks back at Riley. So I'm like, he kind of like, it's not just like he looks at her like, oh, it's that girl, and then he looks back at Riley. It's like he kind of like looks at her for a little bit longer. So I was like, okay, maybe the clue was like, oh, Lucas liked Maya too from the beginning. I don't know. So it's just, and then later they're like, oh, nobody figured it out yet. I'm just like, really? We're supposed to figure it out by now? Like, so, I don't know what the clue is.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that either, that he looks back at Maya on the subway.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm like, I didn't notice that, like, it's like, I thought he looked at her for like quite like, just like lingered like maybe like a second, a little more, not just like, oh, it was that girl, okay, go back to Riley. It's like he kind of was like Riley lands on him, and then he's just kind of like that, and then like he looks back at Riley. So I was like, maybe he'd like both. I don't know, but maybe hopefully by the end of the season, we still have a few episodes that'll maybe finally they'll like. And then with the flashbacks too, I thought like I like that they showed the flashbacks, and I was like, okay, maybe we'll figure out the clue or something. And still, no, I didn't figure it out with the flashbacks. So maybe by the end of the season, we'll finally solve this mystery, get some resolution. So I think they just like to keep us guessing. I think they're enjoying that, the writers. So.
Yeah, I'll say this, with the Farkle Riley scene outside of the cafe. After that scene, I was thinking, that brought the whole episode together and brought all three parts together. And make a little bit even like the whole series up to this point too. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Yeah, and also to comment on the confusion thing with this episode, where it ends, and comments I've also read is that they wish there was more of a resolution with the episode, like in terms of who's gonna be with who. Which I agree with. I think the show is bad at filling in the details. But I also think like while it would be nice for more of a wrap up, I found the confusion realistic. Like, because should it have really been resolved? They're only in the 8th grade at this point.
Yeah.
We've still got 4 years of high school, and like, so I liked how I liked how they focused on that confusion, and I just think we could have had Lucas's opinion more.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Oh, sorry.
No. It's probably a reason why Lucas is probably the weakest link of these episodes, and and of the series, because they really don't add that much to him. Yeah. Okay. What were you gonna say?
I just think, I mean, even though the confusion is like frustrating, I do still prefer it over, like what you said, like over, them, having be all like nicely resolved by the end of the episode, kind of like Full House. I mean, I love Full House, but like everything was always resolved in like a half hour. So I mean, yeah, it's frustrating, but I do like that they're kind of like, it's kind of, like the whole long game. I guess it's like a theme throughout the series. Like, it's like, okay, we're gonna like let this go on for a while, and yes, I do like that, because it also just like keeps it interesting. You kind of want to like keep watching because you want to know what's gonna happen. So I do like it, but just I agree with you about the details and how like sometimes things happen. I'm like, how did we get here? What happened between this point and this point? So but yeah, overall, it's still, a great show. And I mean, as far as like a Disney show, I think it's doing like really well, because a lot of people were like, oh, it's Disney, it's gonna stink. It's like, so far it's doing like, I mean, at this point it's like doing great.
Yeah.
3rd season, I think it'll just I think it's like, as they grow, it's just gonna keep getting better and better. And they even tweeted.
Has the 3rd season been renewed yet?
I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it is, like, if it's getting good ratings.
I don't really have doubts that it will be. I'm pretty sure it will be, but there's no word yet. But
yeah, I think it's just a matter of time. I mean, every time I go to the taping, they say like, "Oh, we're like the highest rated show for kids." Hopefully, I believe them, but I don't know. They might just be.
Well, I think it's true. I think I follow the ratings on TV by the numbers.
Okay.
And I think Rah had its highest rating of the episode.
Okay.
So, and yeah, I think Texas did pretty well. I can't remember right now the number they got, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why they haven't renewed it yet officially, but I mean, that's all pretty much they care about, like, TV networks, like ratings. It's like the main thing. So I'm pretty sure it'll be renewed. And I can't go to any more tapings because they're done for this season, but. So I don't know the season finale. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I had another comment on the classroom scene where we get the reveal that Charlie's in the class.
Oh, okay.
And we have Maya saying something happened between me and Lucas. Like, this goes back to what I've said in the previous episodes, but I wish that did not happen in the classroom.
Exactly.
Like, I kind of liked Charlie asking Riley out. I wish he wasn't in the class, but I liked how he asked her out in the note. I didn't like how Maya saying something happened between me and Lucas in front of the whole class. And I didn't like Riley turning around saying yes to Lucas in front of the whole class. Like, they have to learn to leave private moments as private moments.
Yeah, it's just like they're creating drama right there. It's like, okay, guys, you guys need to like kind of.
Yeah.
We don't need to see this right now, especially like in front of her dad too. It's like really, like I would not be doing any of that stuff in front of my dad. Like, it's like it's like I'll answer it after class in the hall or something, yeah. But I guess she was doing it to like because she didn't want to like freak out or something. I don't know. She's like, I don't care. I guess it was like her way of saying like, I don't care what happened between you and Lucas. I'm going out with Charlie. I think that was kind of like why she did it. But yeah, I agree. Like when she was like saying like, oh, something happened between me and Lucas. Yeah, it's like, why are you saying that in front of the whole class? Like, they don't need to know.
Yeah. And yeah, also, there was a point when they're all in the cafe and there's that back and forth going on where I was thinking that Riley and Charlie wouldn't end up going on their date, mm-hmm. And I'm glad they did because mm-hmm. I was worried that they weren't and then I thought just let her go on the date, like let her get to know more people.
Yeah,
I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, I agreed too. I was like, oh no, I felt so bad for Charlie. I was like, oh god. I was like, I hope they actually go on a date. And so yeah, I was happy that they actually at least went. I was worried about that too. So I mean, overall, great episodes, especially the third one.
Yeah,
I rewatched them several times. So I thought they were pretty good, especially the third one.
Yeah. I wanted to. I just never got around to it. So.
And it makes me more excited for the other ones, especially Forgiveness. I really want to see that one because it's about.
But I think that one was taped out of order to this one.
Yeah. But. Yeah, I think Forgiveness was taped quite a while, and Belief too. I went to Belief before I went to Raw, mm-hmm. And it's gonna be shown after. So
that's an episode I'm looking forward to. I really want to see Belief. Yeah.
Yeah. So
and Forgiveness, meeting Maya's dad. But yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be a big Maya episode. I hope we actually get to meet him. Like
I think we do because I think I saw, you know how they do at live tapings the curtain call.
Oh, uh-huh.
I think there's other characters there that Katie's in the episode, and I think he and her dad's. There's a couple extra men there. So yeah.
Kermit, we get to meet Kermit. He's probably gonna be all really handsome, and then his name is not gonna make sense. I'll be like, your name is Kermit, just like your name is Topanga. But Topanga's a nice name.
Yeah,
it's not an ugly name. All right. Is there anything else you want to say before we finish?
Well, I'll just say, like, going back to how we started with Texas bringing this series up to a whole new level. Like, this is well done for any series on any network, not just the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And how, like, this show, all these episodes had different layers to them. And balancing the comedy and drama. And also, I'll say with part 3, Pluto was beaten for me.
Oh, dang. Finally.
And, like, as much as Pluto's basically that first episode, that I classified as perfection. But when I think back on Pluto, that episode, they really don't go that deep with that episode. Like, as much as I do like it, they kind of keep things on the surface. And these 3 Texas episodes are, well, anyways, I already said that. And also, just another thought I had when thinking about how I can't help but compare every episode to Pluto. I also had the thought with how every episode kind of has its own merit to it. Like, some episodes are going to be more funny, some more serious, some have that balance. So while I can't help but compare the episodes, all the episodes do stand on their own as, like, it's like semi-formal. What's great, and I am Farkle. Riley down, yeah. Rah. So like, but yeah. So that's it, I guess. And I think we have a couple weeks break now from the series.
Yeah. I don't really mind because I have homework, so
Yeah.
that'll give me some
No, I'm fine. Like I think it's the 6th. That's
and
goodness. We'll be on.
I just want to bring up like a tweet that I kind of wish I could show that scene from the pilot, but I can't because for copyright reasons. Where like Lucas, I thought he kind of like was looking at Maya a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But
I can go back and look at that.
Okay, yeah, look like right like the first time that Miley, oh god, the first time Riley lands on his lap, and then like he kind of looks back at Maya for a little bit. But yeah, the writers tweeted like yesterday that they said the simple stories portion of our program is officially over. You have asked us to take on real issues. We are listening. So I was just wondering what you thought, like what kind of issues they would tackle. I have one issue that they have not tackled in Boy Meets World or Girl Meets World, and I really wonder why they haven't. And I hope that they will. I'm gonna be like kind of mad if they don't.
What issue?
Well, because it's a really big part of our culture now. I mean, it's always been a part of society, but now like people are more accepting. Is the whole LGBTQ community? They haven't had in Boy Meets World. They didn't have any. I mean, yeah, like people weren't as like progressive back then. They didn't have any like gay characters, nothing, no gay relationships. They did have an interracial one, so that was good. And this one, like, they still haven't had that. I'm not saying like they need to do it like right away, but I know like, I mean, I hope that they do eventually. Maybe if it's not a gay, maybe like some gay character, or, like, and maybe in high school, I don't know, or something. I just hope that like eventually they do at least have one episode with that, because like they didn't do it at all, and I feel like they don't even like bring it up, or I don't know. I just like, I feel like that's like the one of the major ones that like they haven't tackled. And I mean, yeah, so that's kind of like my big thing, my big one.
Yeah, I agree. I think that'd be interesting. Also, I think I would like them to kind of tackle like death, knowing someone who dies, like maybe someone close to their age.
Oh, okay.
Having to deal with that. And then I went even darker, and I'm like, I'd like to see suicide.
Oh, wow. That would be.
And I don't necessarily want it to be with any of these, like the core 4 or the core 5 with Zay, or 6 with Smackle, but maybe like they can do like a half a season where they haven't introduced a character, and then so we get an arc, not just a 1 episode thing.
Yeah.
They can show the depression, and that goes. So.
Yeah, I think maybe they should watch a few episodes of, or a few seasons of Degrassi, because Degrassi, like, they, I mean, not go as far as Degrassi, but like, because Degrassi is a bit more mature, but like, they do deal with like a ton of those issues, like,
Degrassi deals with every issue.
Yeah, with everything. So, and they have had, which one was the recent one that he was like Maya's? Oh, there was a Maya character too, another blonde Maya, but he was like dating Maya.
Oh yeah, he committed suicide. Yeah.
Yeah. So maybe something like that, where we did kind of, we did get to know him. He was kind of involved. Yeah. He wasn't like a main character, but like so when he did actually, commit suicide, you actually did, he still felt bad and everything. And then they had Adam, who's transgender and everything.
Yeah.
And so.
Michael Jacobs. And they had gay characters too, Marco.
Yeah, so Michael Jacobs, I know it's Disney, but just like at least kind of touch on those topics, that would be awesome. So maybe watch a few seasons of Degrassi. It's sadly over now, but maybe just be inspired by it.
I believe it is coming back.
What? Where did you hear that?
It's good. I don't know. I don't know what channels can be on in the States, but I think it's Family Channel, like, is picking it up in Canada, And I don't know if it will be a Disney show too, but yeah.
Degrassi on Disney? I don't
know. I don't know that for sure if what network it will be, but
what? I didn't hear that.
They do have a title of the new revamp, but I can't remember what it is right now. But
oh my gosh, I'm gonna look it up. I did not hear that. I was so sad that it was over. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. Okay, we're gonna do a whole Degrassi show too. Okay, so I guess. Oh, is there any other issues that you would like for them to tackle?
Yeah. Well, they're both ones we just mentioned. I don't know. Well, this isn't really an issue thing, but just something I was thinking about with all the Riley episodes we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
I would like we got that. We kind of got that with the cheerleading episode, but I'd love them to give Riley something she's passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
Like Maya has her art, Marco has his genius in science, Lucas has sports, and he's also good at school. Lucas is just annoying because he's good at everything.
Yeah.
Because in Boy Meets World we always had Corey struggling with what I'm good at, but we still saw him be passionate about things. Like in high school, he had this journalism thing, the media journalism. So I'd like them to give something like to Riley like that. So, well, not like that, but something. But, yeah.
Okay.
Maybe bring back the camera Sean gives her in the holiday episode, and she can take up photography.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's like a similarity like that she has to Corey, because that's kind of one thing that I didn't really like about Corey in Boy Meets World, is that like he didn't have like kind of like one thing that was kind of his thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're doing that to Riley intentionally because that's how they kind of wrote Corey, or but hopefully maybe they'll kind of change that and actually give her something passionate, because like at the end of Boy Meets World I still like was like, what would Corey be if I thought, when I was thinking like in the future, okay, where would each character end up? Like, oh yeah, Sean a writer, Topanga, successful lawyer, like you could kind of like have an idea of what each of the characters where they would end up, but like Corey is like, what? Like, okay, broccoli or celery poster maker. I don't know. Like, I didn't really have any idea. But
oh yeah, I also had this thought that.
But yeah,
I agree with Corey being a teacher. Maybe and how Mr. Feeney would have inspired him to be a teacher. That maybe he doesn't. Maybe he shouldn't have taught history like Feeney, because we did see he had that passion for media journalism in the Boy Meets World days. So maybe that's the class he should have taught.
Oh, okay.
And with the whole thing of incorporating the kids' real lives into the lessons in a way that would make more sense with him teaching media journalism or journalism.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. In high school, he's most likely going to follow them again to be their teacher every year. So maybe that's when he can change subjects to teach. Because I don't know, that happens with teachers. They switch up subjects. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. So I just wanted before we end, I wanted to show this real quick. So it's late, but I found it. Oh my gosh. Let's see. Dun dun dun. It's called Degrassi Next Class.
Oh yeah.
Right there. Yeah. And supposedly it's premiering on Netflix in everywhere, and in Canada, Family Channel 2016. Oh my gosh. It's coming back. It's so awesome. I mean, I'm kind of bummed because like I'm not going to have a lot of time to watch it, but I mean Netflix is going to make it easier to watch. So
yeah.
I'm glad it's coming back. I hope that at least bring back some new characters. I mean, some old characters back. So
I think it's gonna follow Maya and Zay, or Maya and Zig. I think that's his name.
We're confusing.
Yeah. I think they're the older class now. So yeah. But, yeah.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And
Awesome.
everyone else, I think, I still haven't seen the series finale because I kind of got behind in that show.
Mm-hmm.
Like with season, I kind of stopped watching in season 13. But yeah. But so. But, yeah.
You need to catch up, girl. So yay, that's some good news.
And Fuller House 2 in 2016.
I know. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna like binge watch. I'm definitely gonna binge watch Full House. I'm gonna like find out when it premieres. Try to like save up money so I don't have to work those days, or at least one day. Maybe I can watch the whole series in one day because I'm gonna want to watch the whole thing in one day. I just can't resist. But I'm gonna spoil it for myself because I got tickets to the last 2 tapings. So I'm gonna know how it ends. But I don't care. I still hopefully I get pictures with the cast. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna know how it ends, and I won't tell anyone. But yeah, so yay, Degrassi, Fuller House, awesome. More shows. So I guess that's it for a really long episode.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hopefully it uploads. I'm gonna be really mad if there's some kind of technical issue and the whole episode doesn't upload. So let me know what you guys think.
And what issues do you guys want to see in future seasons?
Yes, exactly. Any thoughts you had about whatever we said, and if you had any ideas of what the clue in the pilot is, any theories would be awesome. And I'm gonna probably until April, I'm gonna do all the hangouts on this channel because I can't do them. I'm like barred from doing them on my other channel, so until April.
Do you know why?
Is I was given permission to film something, and then I uploaded that, and then they took it down. So I was like, I thought I had permission to do it, and I guess that person didn't like it. So yeah, so that's why I was kind of mad. But because of that copyright strike, I can't do any hangouts for 6 months on that channel. So. But thank you, Heavenly Gal, for joining me again. So much to talk about.
Yeah.
And please leave comments. I like reading what people have to say about these episodes.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys next time. And can't wait to see how the season ends.
Yeah. November 6th will be the next episode, I think.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
And Degrassi, Fuller House, 2016. Yeah. More awesome shows.
Yeah.
All right, so have a good night, day, week, everyone.
Yeah.
See you guys next time.
Have a good weekend. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.